Let's see what I can do on a Sunday here. Oh, there's a couple of buttholes. I'm going to start doing a butthole of the week segment. Because butthole of the month seems like too much of an honor. So these are just buttholes of the week that I deal with. But speaking of buttholes, Corey Dean, who is a builder and full-time machine shop monkey, is selling a coffee can lid as a cap topper, also known as an inner dust cap. Two things you want to watch out for, which is number one, don't pay more than you need to. I think he's charging like $7 to $8 each, which is expensive if you ask me. The other thing is you don't want it to be flat. You want it to be curved, either this way, which is concave, or this way, which is convex. See, a little bit of a dome. These I sell for 50 cents each. You buy them in packs of 10, and then what you do is you pair them up. So what I do is I put a little bit of epoxy. You can use Devil's Jizz, you can use whatever epoxy from Walmart or whatever, JB Weld works good too. And then what I do is I put this on top of that, and I squish them together so that it gets nice and distributed evenly without getting it all over your fingers. And then you just put a weight on it. And that's if you want to make these independent, like ready for another application. Typically what I do is I put them on the above the former after I trim the former down flush. Then I put this on like that, face down, and then I'll put a weight right here, and then I'll put a bead around there, and then guess what? That's never coming off. It also holds back the pressure so that the outer cap can be more decorative, meaning that you can't always epoxy the outer cap in place. And so sometimes, you know, and for a long time, Sundown was doing this where they would just put a poly cap on there with some rubber cement, and that was it. And then, you know, it pops off or it rips the paper on the cone, and then, you know, they go, oh, I don't know what happened. It's like, you're an idiot. You knew what was going to happen, especially on a powerful woofer. Now, I use inner caps on about 500 watts or more. Other than that, you can just use rubber cement and a poly cap. It's fine for the most part, because there's just not enough pressure, enough BL really to be produced with something like that. See, like this is a 250 watt sub, little baby magnet, and it just uses a poly cap. What's that, dead moth? And then I just put a PPI decal on it. Now it looks fucking tits McGee, and I'll put it in one of these sealed boxes and sell it out for like 150 bucks with an amp. Good deal. I try to stay away from people that, I don't know how else to put it. Basically, they're just predatory. They're not really looking out for you. Now, do I still make money? Yes, I have to. Otherwise, I will die. So it's not that I'm giving it away for free, even though I would love to. I love to be in the position to just saturate the market and give everybody everything they wanted. Couple of issues with that. Number one is you won't respect it. Number two, most of you will hoard it like idiots instead of passing it around and you know, whatever, paying it forward the way that I would have done to you. So that's the other part about when there's too much money in the economy, you get sucked up by stupid shit because most people are stupid. And the way that you can differentiate, like, it's funny too, when I say that in videos, a lot of people get butthurt, and I'm like, you're the stupid one. So, because if you're not stupid, you'll know that I'm not talking to you, right? And the way that you can differentiate yourself between you and the other idiots is by reading, learning, pondering, meditation, using your brain. The real estate between your ears is the most valuable real estate you'll ever own. So develop it, you know, take care of it, be wise, be kind. Jesus, just common sense stuff. Anyways, I wanted to show you those. I wanted to show you these. We got a bunch of these. These are the PP, well, I don't call them PP. It's the SRX 250.1. It's just a little mono amp. I got posted on eBay. I will do, I think, price break at 5 pieces. If you want to do 5 pieces, it gets pretty cheap. And then another price break at 10 pieces, and then that's about as cheap as it gets. And so these ones are fused at 40 amps. Is that right? Yeah, 220s. And then I think some of them, these are the ones that do not have the bass boost on them. So sometimes on some of them they would have like a bass boost over here, like a little switch, whatever. And I'm looking for the original remotes. If not, you just get the Recoil Audio LCV, which is it's a line controller, just a little pot. It's a bass knob, for lack of a better word, with a digital voltmeter on it. So I just wanted to tell you about that. Somebody was asking, they're like, can you look at just what you have on the shelf? And I'm like, sure. The problem is a lot of this stuff changes weekly. So, you know, if it's here this week, it'll be gone next week. People just, you know, buy cool shit from me. Hopefully for resale. If not for consumption, at least let me give you a good deal on consumption. So I got 3 left of the 2500.1s. Doesn't mean I'm out. It just means I'm out of stock here. And the guys at Recoil cut me off on my credit. They didn't cut me off, but I can't be taking stuff and then just like I told you, Larry got mad at me because he's like, you took $2,500 worth of shit and you only paid me $200. I go, yeah, like a credit card. Duh. And he's like, I'm not here to bankroll your business. I'm like, yeah, you kind of are. And then I saved him like $100,000 on 2 different days of the week. And he's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm worth betting on, motherfucker. So, and then I got 2 of the 1200.1s left. I got 2 of the mini amps. I did a video on these a long time ago. These are good for like 1500 watts. They're just mini little, these ones are, let me see this side. These got a little window in them, a little plexi window. They're made by the same maker that Big D just did on, I think it was like Soundstream Reserve amps or something like that. But they're fused for 120 amps. I don't know if you can see that, just it's a little guy. It's good for like marine applications and like anywhere where it's small space. But I got 2 left. I was retailing them at $200 each. I can do them like for 150 bucks each. I have some new ones coming that just are different cosmetics, but it's basically the same amplifier, and we can import that for you if you want, and then you know, give you an even better price. But you got to buy like at least 10 at a time, otherwise it's not worth it to resell, and I end up competing with you. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want you to have your own market and your own what do you call it? Basically, that's why I push you guys to have your own brand. Then you're not competing with anybody, right? Then you're just competing with, like, you know, Rockford Fosgate or JL or whoever. You know what I mean? And always compare to the big boys. In fact, only if they mention Sundown do you then reference to Sundown. And then even when you're providing more performance for a less price than Sundown, what you can do is like triple the warranty. You're like, I'll give you 3-year warranty. And they go, and then if they still want a better deal, walk away, because that's too good of a deal. And if they can't make up their mind about that shit, you get the fuck out of there. Because again, you get into these predatory guys that want everything for free, or they smell blood in the water and they think you're desperate, and then they'll come after you and they'll pursue you. So, but some other stuff. I got a whole bunch of these. These are actually really good mids. Audio Logic. I don't know if you can see in there. It's a good little 5 1/4s that we got a bunch of on surplus. I ended up selling the tweeters for more than the whole component set because the tweeters were really nice. People really liked them. People aren't really a big fan of the green cones, but if you want to do a big project, let me know. I'll cut you a good deal on them, or if you just want them as components. I think, yeah, we still have some of these left. Same thing on this. The mids are not so strong, but the tweeters are great, and I end up pulling the tweeters out of there and selling them for like $40 a set with the crossovers. People love them. Typically, you only buy the whole thing for like 40 bucks, which I will sell you. It's not a big deal. It's just sometimes I do so well on like a little side project that I get. This is all extra, so this is all like free money that I get afterwards, and I'm like, okay, you know, maybe I'll spend this money on porn or something. I don't know, whatever. I'm just playing. But this is the RPM 265. I have the last of the RPM 365 until the next shipment. They're not sure if they're going to import them again, just because the market for that is very tiny and it's already saturated. And there's already people like CT Sounds that think that they're giving you a good deal by selling basically the same component set for $300. I'm selling it for $160. So, you know, whatever. But typically, you know, when people buy like the CT Sound set for $300, they, you know, it's a hard pill to swallow and to justify a purchase, you know, unless you find somebody dumber than you to buy your CT Sounds. Again, check with me first. And again, just text me. It's not that I'm unprofessional for not having a website. A website is actually a lot of work. So, and if you look even on Recoil's website, they don't even have their shit together. And they have a full-time guy that's making like $70,000 a year just for being the web monkey for that shit. I don't have that kind of time. I also don't have that kind of money. So I can't afford that. So the best thing you can do is I have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is where you text me direct. Let me know your name and your shipping address. Some of that is to get, number one, get you in the phone so that you're important. Because if somebody just texts me random, you're not important. I don't care who you are. And I ran into that the other day. That's the butthole of the week. I forget his name. I'll give you his name. He was like, give me a list of all your stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? I go, what are you looking for? He's like, I'm looking to develop some subwoofers, some speakers and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, can you be a little more specific? And then he's like, quit being so coy. I know you got good stuff. I know you got lists. And I'm like, first of all, actually, I don't have a list. And the inventory list that I do keep is more for the bank. It's not for me personally. And that's just to show assets. It's not really to have an inventory. I'm not that organized. I don't have that kind of help. The only help I do have is part-time. So I don't have a list, but basically I have everything in my head. I know what everything is and I know where everything is. So if you want to know something or a specific part, I can find it for you or research it for you or give you a link to it. Even if I don't have it myself, I can help you find the best price on it. Okay. So anyways, this guy's like, you just lost a fucking $100,000 customer, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, go fuck yourself. I go like, first of all, the first rule of business, don't tell other people how to do business, right? That includes me, okay? So if he felt like I was telling him how to do his business, maybe we shouldn't do business. I'm okay with that. He's not, because immediately he tried to pull rank like somehow he owns me, right? Because he's got $100,000 to spend. Just so you know, if you ever get one of those opportunities, and if you do this long enough, you will. You get some guy that's got rich because his, you know, mom got electrocuted by the power company or whatever, and she can't spend the money, so she's like, "Here, Bobby, go buy some stereo stuff." And he's like, "All right, cool, I got $100,000." And that's a dangerous person. That is a dangerous person that has no qualms about dragging you to the bottom of his bottomless pit of self-despair and burning all the money at the same time. Okay. So I know it on the surface, you go, oh, $100,000 really changed my life. It won't. It'll change your life for the worse dealing with someone like that. Again, that's just my experience of doing this for what? Over 30 years, full time. Don't do it. If that shows up, there are other opportunities that will show up. Okay. So just have a little faith. Try not to put yourself in a position like me where I'm burning a lot of money every month on rent. Right? Just because I allowed good people to take advantage of me. Just be aware that sometimes good people what seems like good people will take advantage of you, and then, you know, turns out they're rotten cunts, and they have a lot of self-pity, and just because they got raped as a child, they think that you should be raped. So believe me, there's people out there that do that. I did want to promote more of the passive radiators. I don't know. I priced them at $40 each, which I thought was pretty decent, especially considering what Parts Express sells them for. I think maybe I got to work on the cosmetics. Maybe we can do a carbon fiber cap over that to make it, you know, look better or something like that. I also found these. I got these. I forget where I got them from, but I got them. They're flat piston. They look really cool. Rubber surround. You can add mass to that if you want. These will bottom out really quick though. If you see that, boom, bottomed out. So I don't know how you would use them or if you could use them, but they're pretty. And then these are the 15s. I have the 15s and lots of the 12s. Bunch of enclosures, bunch of home stuff. I don't like to ship this stuff, but if we do have a working amplifier and you need one, I will sell those to you for cheap. Basically, look what the going rate is on eBay and then take off like 10%, 15% or something like that. and I sell it to you. It's really not that hard. I wish you guys would kind of understand that these are the deals. Take them. I've done the research. Now, if you find a better deal and you want to split, like, what was it? I was talking in one of the videos, and I quoted the price on the DI 1200.4. I quoted it at 104, and then later on in the video I said 105. And some guy's like, "Hey, you said 104." Like, if you're fighting over $1, fuck off. I don't want to deal with you. It's already the cheapest price on the internet. So again, you want to watch out for those people too. Hair splitters, right? You want people to look at the bigger deal, and you also want to have them understand that you're helping them. If somebody doesn't understand that you're helping them, you're not doing them any favors, okay? And it'll come back to bite you and burn you. So I also found the stash of these. We did have a break-in a couple years back, and they stole all my RCAs that I had gotten from Parts Express, but they didn't get these. These are a bunch of stuff I got from the Lightning Audio buyout from years ago, and these are all Y splitters. I think these are the, let me see, they are the 1 female to 2 male, which is the popular one. That's what everybody usually uses when they are using like a 4-channel amp. Plus, also on the 4-channel amps, I give forks, 4-gauge forks, and I also give a pair of splitters. Because for some reason on the 5-channel, the new RED 1800.5, which, by the way, I'll put a link to in Hi-Fi Vector. He did a review on it. Excuse me. He did a review on it. The subwoofer channel alone does 2,000 watts dynamic, which I thought was pretty rad. And that's at 1 ohm. All the other channels are 2 ohm stable. It's a very powerful amp. I didn't know it was that powerful, so it's a really good deal. I have it posted for $240. That one has 0-gauge inputs, and then I cut another $5 off the price for the RCK0D, which is the CCA 0-gauge dual amp. Not that you would use the jumpers, but you end up getting the jumpers for free, and you also get the 6-channel RCA, which is nice, and the 0-gauge, which is 20 feet. That's one of the only kits that they do 20 feet. I think it's 20 feet. God damn it, now I got myself doubting myself. I know on the PCK0D, it's 20 feet of OFC. But I thought the RCK0D was also 20 feet, but I'll have to check it. Let me see. Oops. A couple more rings left. I've been selling the rings on eBay. I also have a set, 2 sets of the 13 W7 if you want those sets. And I just undercut JL on those directly. We got to go through all this wire and put them back into kits. We got a bunch of the 6-channels RCAs, a bunch of the boots. If you're, what was it? I don't know, just be nice to me. Like, you know, like if you're putting in an order, I like to put in like little extras just to say thank you, I love you, namaste, all that kind of stuff. But if you get a package and I forget to put in stickers, or I forget to put in extra goodies, don't be a dick. Just ask for it or make another order. That's the better thing. Because then I feel guilty. I go, oh, I didn't give them the cool stuff last time. I'll give them the cool stuff next time. See how that goes? I got a bunch of fans. These are only like $5 each. I have that one. These are a little bigger. I think those are 110 millimeter. These are a little bit smaller. I think these are 24 volt. What does it say? It doesn't really say on it. Let me look. I like these though because they come with a grill. And these are also $5. Yeah, these are 24 volt. So when you run them at 12 volts, they're going to be nice and quiet because they run at half speed. Other than that, Ash has been helping me clean up this area. See, I got that P2 I got to sell today. P212 with an amp. I got the capacitor. I posted that on Facebook. $100 for that. It's a 10 farad. Rockford Fosgate still has them in stock from 2007, and they're selling them for like $5.49. It's like, good for you guys. Stickers. Those Orion boxes. I sold all the car audio magazines to some guy for $25. So it's funny, like a lot of times people want these boxes, and I go, I don't know, give me like $15 for it. $15? I just wanted it for free because I liked your video. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Grow up at least a little bit, dude. I'm not here to feed the children, right? JP is there to feed the children. He's like, oh, I'm gonna do an amp for breast cancer and give, you know, whatever, breast cancer research $1 while he sells a, you know, an overpriced Chinese amp. So like, whatever. I don't want to play those dumb games, especially like when you see a plumbing company or an electrical company or an AC company. They're like, oh, we give senior discounts and military discounts. That's because they charge too much. All right, that's a giveaway. And so some people are like, hey, do you give a military discount? I don't, because I'm a veteran and I know that shit's bullshit. But at Lowe's, I take advantage of it, right? That's where I buy a lot of my boxes for shipping. And I even set up a, they don't call it a reseller account, they call it a tax exempt account. But I set that up with my LLC and all that kind of stuff. And so I end up saving tax. And then also I get a 10% discount for being a veteran. So I double dip on that one. I've only set it up at Lowe's. They said I can set it up at Home Depot, but I was like, whatever. They make it, Home Depot sometimes like a super dick. And there's the Lowe's boxes right there. Lowe's is just nicer. It's like better air conditioned. I don't know, more white. I don't know how else to describe it. If being clean and comfortable is white, I'm white as fuck. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. But P3s that we got to process. I do have the voice coils coming in for these. We will be doing a run of about probably 50 or 60 of these. Typically, I sell them local for about 120 each, and then we do a couple different cones on them. I like just doing the polycones just because it's cheaper. The Johnny 5 series cone is a little nicer, and I end up charging, I think, $25 more for that, so $150. But again, it comes down to a preference. A lot of people just see the brand and they go, good enough. And that, you know, Rockford right now still sells them for, I think, what, $220, $250, depending on where you get them from. And then we will, they put them in upside down. See, now that they're all right side up, right, the dust is all on them. So, I mean, we got to prep them all anyway. So we're going to grind all these. These are just the 2.5s, but I will be doing a nice production run of those. And I'm going to see if I can actually use those for the Recoil Cicada subwoofer. I figured out a way that I think I got to get around it, which is basically if I produce it and I produce something that's, you know, super clean, super professional looking, it looks new and all that kind of stuff, I can actually sell it directly to Cicada, and then we can get it out into the market without having to go through some of the red tape that is China and getting approved for the high density Neo that we need and want. So I don't know why they don't. I think they just don't want to be married to the Neo, because the problem is like, if you make a successful product out of, you know, high energy Neo, like in 42 at least, or higher, in 48, in 52, whatever. The problem is if you have a successful run, like let's say you do 1,000 drivers, and you make a lot of money, when you go back to that same vendor, what do you know? Magically, the price will go up, and not for everybody, just for you. And so it's kind of a weird thing. It's like, they're called rare earth metals. They're actually not rare. It's just that the processing, they use chemical processing. Most of the Neo is actually mined here, or I say in North America. It's mined in Canada, and they ship rare. They ship the ore over to China, and it's like dangerous, bad chemicals, stuff that we don't want anything to do with. And the Chinese are like, fuck it, we'll do it. And so that's why they have the market on that shit, is because they're willing to do the dangerous work, and they're basically, you're paying for it with lives to get these little stupid Neo magnets. People's lives are shortened, and until the aliens show up and relieve us of all these kind of dumb, stupid human things that we're doing in order to just survive and make our, you know, environment better, or make our lives better, or whatever, even just to make money. So if you guys know an alien, if you've been abducted, tell them, say, please just fucking fuck the treaty and come down and like rescue us. Now, if they're evil, which I've heard too, if the aliens are evil and they're here to turn us into slaves, I think Perry Farrell said it best in his, what was that, 1994, 1995 hit, We Will Make Great Pets, when he was doing Porno for Pyros. Do your best to be a good pet, okay? Yet a lot of yes-a-masses right away, massa. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. And again, I understand that people, are like, oh, Patrick's talking out of his ass. He's a crazy person, all this kind of stuff. This stuff could be really fucking real. So you better start entertaining scenarios. Start running scenarios in your head of how you're going to behave, what's going to happen. You got to understand too that the people that are in power, if you noticed in the past 10 years, it's really accelerated. This grab for money, this grab for power, it's like a weird thing. It's like, why do they need so much money? They're already filthy rich. Why do they want and need so much more? And so I of course have my theories, and I write them down in the my stories and my screenplays and things like that. But I'm interested to find out if you guys have any other theories about why they would be getting so rich. The obvious one to me is if there is aliens, right? It's to be in a position of an overseer, right? One of the was it Falling Skies was one of the good sci-fis. It was a real limited run, but there was a lot of cool ideas in it that I thought would be great. But that's basically what they had, which was they would it's easier to recruit. Well, they also did it in Alien Nation, which is an old 90s or 80s sci-fi, which is where they have certain people act as overseers that are, and slave owners here in America did the same thing. You would have the house Negro that was famously played by Samuel L. Jackson, which I love in Django Unchained. It was fucking great when he's dropping science on Leo. That was, oh my God, that was fucking great. He's like, this is how you do it. And Leo's like, yeah, that's a good plan. So, so anyways, start thinking about that, guys. It doesn't hurt to sit there and, you're at your shitty job. Just think about, like, are you going to be a good slave? Are you going to try to avoid things? I mean, you already took the COVID vaccine, right? That's so that they can have an on-off switch with you when it comes time. And that's the thing, though, is dealing with the government and dealing with this level of non-giving a shit about your life. They will give you lights out either way, right? Look what they did to JFK. They shot him in the face by 4 shooters? Yeah, they really wanted to make sure that he was good and dead. So, oh God, I love that Seth MacFarlane. I think it's on Family Guy. Yeah, I think it was either Family Guy or American Dad, where they did a replay of the JFK assassination, but it was by Mayor McCheese. And Mayor McCheese gets shot, and then I forget his wife, whatever, Jackie, that was there to eat part of Mayor McCheese. He was delicious. It's a very fucked up JFK joke, but it's very memorable. So, but more of the same stuff. I got to get top plates for all those. Those are all Vato Extremes. But now we have the GONZO Juniors. These are all the ones that I'm going to be consuming here. These are what's left for shipping, and basically what I do is I use these for jigs. As you can see here, I gotta get these cones on and then get these shipped out tomorrow. These are actually the top assemblies for the Solo X, Mr. Goodwin, I forget. I gotta knock those out today. And then Mr. Lockwood's 24. The only thing that I don't like on the 24 is that I've been coordinating with Georgie Boy over there at Lord of Base on getting an adapter that works to adapt from 5-inch coil to 4-inch coil. I've been using where are they? Oh, that's a metal one. Basically these Go Fast rings. So DD uses them. The Go Fast rings that were on the SA happen to be perfect fit on the inner diameter to fit on the outer diameter of the coil. And so what we do is we would shave off some of this so that it contours to the cave and it would make a better bond. In fact, Tay over there that bought the dual 24s, and it took me a year to make them. That was like, what, 3 years ago? He finally killed one, and I was like, oh, there you go. But, and those weren't even removable top assembly. I remember we had to ship those on a pallet. So, but this one has the removable top assembly. And I think I got 2 more guys on those. I don't really want to take any more orders on those guys. And then I got to finish this one. Did I get the former on? I don't think I glued it yet. Nope, I didn't glue it yet. I got to glue it today. But, other than that, it was great to get your feedback on the Big D Wiz base dad thing. I think it's hilarious. I don't want to say how easy it is to get a good, what do they call it? To get a good get, meaning like when you start doing podcasting and you start doing shows and things like that, when you have a good get, that means you have a good guest, right? Somebody that normally you wouldn't normally land. And Base Dad landed, I guess the president or whoever of US Amps. I haven't watched it. I'm not really interested in US Amps. I didn't really think their work was that remarkable, especially when you read the background, that the stuff that they did with MRIs, making amplifiers was just kind of a bullshit fun thing. I didn't like how expensive they were. That's the problem. But, good for him for getting that guest that he was able to land. And what that does is it helps prop him up. Chasing Clout, again, was the thing for that. But yeah, if you want to get into that and start being, an important interviewer or something like that of people in the industry, talk them up. Talk nice about them. Tell them that you will promote them. Tell them that you will help them make money. And basically you're just, greasing up your butthole as a whore to help them, put that out in the world and good stuff. And that's mostly what you see in the car audio world, right? EXO, who's that other little skinny? God, his PD is like super wide. Basshead, somebody or whoever, anybody. There's a whole bunch of them. And all they do is talk good about products that aren't that great. And they just promote. And those are called shills, right? So like, if you don't know what a shill is, Google it. But eBay, you probably know what a shill bidder is from eBay, like it's where, like I'm selling like this pallet right here, and I started out at 99 cents. The only reason why I started out at 99 cents on eBay is so I don't pay any fees. Get it? And then what I do is I have one of my friends shill bid, meaning they put in a fake bid. Let's say they don't put in 2,000, right? They put in 1,998. You see how that works? So when somebody comes in and they bid 2,000, they get it, right? Because what you're doing is you're trying to boost the price artificially to trick someone else into buying something that normally isn't. The natural market is actually quite dangerous and quite volatile. And there's a lot of good luck, and then there's a lot of bad luck. And so instead of waiting for fate to decide your future, you can just lie and use a shill, right? Use somebody that's fake propping up whatever it is. And that's what these guys are. That's what these guys do for selling. And if you notice, what I do is I tell you, don't take my word for it. And that's why we ended up sending those amps to Lance at Hi-Fi Vector. I want somebody else's opinion. I want somebody, especially because he makes those dynos himself. He doesn't make a lot of money, but it's like a nice, powerful tool to have, especially if you want to do these kinds of videos. Hit Lance up; he'll probably make you one. They're a little expensive, but they're still cheaper than fucking Tony Baloney's, which are like $5 or $6 grand. And I'm sure he'll charge 10 grand now because he's so rad. I'll let you lick the sweat off my balls. Like, shut up, Tony. So, but and again, I'm not a fan of that kind of sales technique, market manipulation, whatever you want to call it. It's bro life is what it really is. And you see that in Jacob and his little shill, what's his name? Scott Dildo. Oh, shout out to Scott Dildo. He, I thought I blocked all of his accounts. I didn't. He has like Southern Gay Thunder or something like that as a handle on Instagram. And then he liked one of the things on the Blackjack Audio account. And then so I automatically just heart everybody's comment. I'm like, thank you, because I am grateful. Then I go, wait a minute. And then I click on his. And then, of course, if you go to his, whatever, sucking dicks down under, or whatever his thing is, he makes fun of me for making fun of Jacob's stupid 200 pound motor. I'll talk about that for a second. Okay. So there are a lot of stupid things in car audio, and Jacob gets to say that he was the first person to make a 200 pound motor, whatever. And it's got all the bells and whistles. It's 200 pounds. That's why nobody makes it. It's too heavy to lift. Most humans are not as big as me. I'm like 300 pounds. I'm 6'1", and I'm pretty strong, even after COVID. I don't want to do anything with a motor like that, whether it's production, whether it's installation, or anything like that. Well, Jacob is so rad. He put bolt holes on the back of the motor so you could put cross beams. You could put fucking angle iron inside of your enclosure that's made of poured concrete, reinforced concrete, in your, everyday base enclosure. First of all, you got to understand that anything that's large like that, including like what Rockford Fosgate developed under the T2 and the T3 series, the T3 was a complete loss. They didn't make any money on them. If they were lucky, they broke even. You got to understand, they made it for promotion. Okay. The tooling in that was $100,000 for all the stuff that they tooled up on the T3. We're talking about Rockford Fosgate T3. I'll go over to the one I got. Now, if you think about money spent, spending it on tooling at least gives you something at the end of the day, right? But if you spend $100,000 on advertising, that's only as good as until people see flashy lights on something else. So you don't want to spend $100,000 on marketing like you used to in car audio magazines. What you want to spend it on is tooling. So number one, you own the tooling. So in case it does become profitable, later on you can reproduce them. This thing was not profitable, but the $100,000 in tooling that they paid promoted it as like the biggest, baddest Rockford Fosgate. I don't even want to flip this over. It's fucking dangerous. There, you can see it. So it's just got a big slug of Neo in it, and it's got a dual gap. Good job. Like, it's a turd because there's no parts for it. I don't even like it. But if you want to buy it, I'll sell it to you. It's one of those things. But Rockford Fosgate did not make money on it, and that's the point. The point is to promote it. They could not pay $100,000 to get the kind of notoriety and attention that thing got, right? And then here Jacob does a motor with zero tooling. That is all basic mill, 6-axis mill bullshit that you can find over in China. He didn't do anything special. It's just large. And then you give it a goofy name over InHuman, which is of course a ripoff of the Soundstream amps that they did, where that was pretty fucking tits McGee. I mean, the amps were shit, but the heatsink, sorry, that was Lucky calling. I just like, fucking just text me. Anyway, so the money that you put into, oh, that's right, InHuman. So the Soundstream heatsink was like, it was basically their knockoff of the Empire Strikes Back with Han Solo being encased in kryptonite, but it was like, like a horror guy. It's like a scary thing and whatever. They're really creepy amps, but they're like, they only made probably like 100, maybe 200, and whatever. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. It's always a gimmick. And it's just for shows. And then especially if they submit it for awards where, the industry likes to give itself an award. Look how cool it is. Does it really improve anything? No, it's just a cosmetic thing. So, but this is, that motor, that 200-pound motor that dipshit made, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the GOAT fucker of all time. It's just a gimmick. So, and if you fall for it, then you might as well just hang out with JP and suck JP's dick. So here, what do you know? Somebody else has been making that kind of stuff forever. It's called Turbo Sounds. It's a 5-inch coil. It's basically the same size that Jacob's already using, which is this one. So then the problem that you're going to find is a magnetizer large enough to zap that. You basically need what I have, which is a big C core and then a discharge bank to be able to do something like that. I'm not going to do that. Basically, I'm just going to raise I want to put this around the Neo. I'm going to do Neo stacks on this one. And then we're going to raise that up. So, and I may just keep it at 5-inch since Lord of Bass now has a 5-inch coil that is pretty, it's not rare, but it's just unpopular, but it's badass. And so I'm going to design these around that, and then I'm going to sell these to help pay for the I don't have to pay any tooling, but we want to do a 5-inch Neo motor. So, and I don't have the money to do the machine work that I want to do to make it liquid cooled, which would be badass. But basically, I just want something to show that virtually anybody, including my dumbass, can go to China and get something made that you want, that puts Sundown's dick in the dirt. That's all. So, but my point back to Scott Dildo was that he was making fun of haters, and which basically he was calling me a hater of Sundown, and it's actually, Sundown products are great. I just think they're overpriced. Who I don't like is Jacob, and the reason why I don't like Jacob is because, number one, he betrayed me. Number two, he's really just a douchebag, selfish piece of shit, in my opinion. And that's, I didn't know. I trusted him not to be that guy. I thought he was a cool guy, like the way everybody else says that he's a cool guy. And turns out he's not. So I found out the hard way. And so anyways, haters. So that was Scott Dildo telling me that I'm a hater of Sundown. Now, which whatever, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. What I think is funny about people that say that phrase, oh, you're just a hater. If you're such a superior individual, why do you have to say something like that? Why do you have to point that out? Or why do you have to make a big scene about that? Oh, you just hate me. If you're better than me, just be better than me. You don't have to make a video. You don't have to rub people's fucking noses in it. You don't have to throw sand in a street fight. You don't have to do any of that shit. Just be better than me if you are better than me. Turns out you're not, and that's my whole point, is that you're not better than me, and I will prove it with my technology and my work. Oh, that was the other thing. Somebody was asking, or Big D or whatever was making fun, or no, it was Base Dad. He's like, well, if you say crazy things, you probably want to hide your face. It's not that I want to hide my face. It's that I want my work to speak for me, not me. I'm not important. I'm just the messenger. Okay? It's my job to simply point things out. That's all. Now, what you do with it is up to you. If you think I'm full of shit, good job. Like, prove it. Come see me. Make me wrong. I want to be wrong if I'm wrong. But if I'm right, oh, that burns. I'm going to refill the traps. So, well, you know, and then really what I want to do is I want to convert you to being a fan. That I'm here for the long run. I'm here for the people. I'm here to make things as cheap and as awesome as possible. It's not necessarily money. And I'm going to run into problems because I don't feed into that thing that's very popular, which is impulse buys, right? And financing and things like that. I already went through the recession where we got burned for about $3,400 because people made a purchase and then changed their mind even after they got the product. Yeah. So $3,400 burn on someone my size, that hurts. It really stings. And so I just decided I don't need credit cards as much as they need me. So I let that go, and that's why we use Cash App. That's one of the main reasons too. But the other part is Square, the parent to Cash App, they're the ones that took away the credit account because they're like, we don't know what you're doing, but we don't like it, and then they took it away. Now, here's the thing: is like it was like a soft ban. They allowed me to keep the website. Right? I don't think I can sell anything through the website, but I can still, I think, post stuff. I haven't figured out. Again, it hasn't been time to really negotiate or navigate through it to figure out how I can do that. But I still use the website and the web space that they gave me, and the like 1,000 products that I have loaded in there as my database for when I get my other website, which will be like an HTML, something super fast on a phone. I'm not a fan of pictures when most of the searching that you do is through text anyway, right? That's how Google works. So anyways, yeah, that's one of the biggest reasons why we don't take credit card. So, and then when I talked to my bankers, they were like, that's very smart, because they've seen people go bankrupt over a loss like that, right? It creates a avalanche problem. So, and then other people like, oh, do you take Klarna or do you take Shop Pay or all that kind of stuff? No, you have to do $1 million a year in order to get those accounts. And I don't do $1 million a year. So there you go. But let me see. Let me pause this real quick, because I gotta staple this fucking video to the other one, which I hate doing because the processing takes fucking forever. That's why I like to do everything in one take. Which, by the way, it's not special or hard to do a one take thing, especially when your videos are shit like mine are. But it is impressive, the improv. So anyways, to me anyway. But let me see what else I got going. Hang on. Okay, there it is. Austin Harmon. So that's what he's in my phone as. And and you're asking $100,000. It's like, I'll give you some advice. Don't argue with it. Oh, maybe I misinterpreted what he was saying. He says, I'm building and manufacturing speakers in the US. Not sure why you're being coy, but I need photos and a list of what you have. I said, I'm not being coy. You're just not being specific. Asking $100,000. I don't know what I'm asking $100,000 for. So again, just don't be a douche. Don't be a dick. Be nice. You know, sometimes there's communication. Sometimes you're not as great a communicator as you think you are. Me included. I can't tell you how many videos where like somebody asked me for like to cover a subject on a video, and I'm just like, nope, already covered that. And it's because technically I have already covered it, but I have like 600,000 videos or whatever it is, and so it's kind of hard to find. And you know, that's why I recommend it. If you really want to get to know me, watch all my videos from the beginning. That's all. So most of them are actually pretty short. A lot of them aren't long like this one. This one's already at 9 minutes for this section, and I got to glue it to the other one. But you'll learn a lot about me, and hopefully you'll learn a lot about yourself, which is really what I want to show you, so that you can overcome your limitations so that you can achieve your goal. That's the whole point of this channel, is to help you and enable you. And I cannot, you know, if you want to say beat the system or whatever, that's not really what I'm trying to do. It's more like about Vietnam. It's just about keeping what you have and being able to have a autonomy over yourself. But if I can help you create that autonomy in your life so that you can have your own, you know, fucking 5,000 square foot, 10,000 square foot warehouse, and you get to work from home and be with your family and play with your kids and watch them grow up, that's worth more than all the money in the world. And that's the goal that I'm trying to achieve with you guys. Okay? Does that make sense? Not that I'm saying that, you know, Big D Wiz is a douche for not promoting that, but he could easily promote that, and he's not. Instead, he chooses some piece of shit amp that nobody bought in the 90s that he thinks is important. So there you go. Is that a judgment on him? A little bit. But again, that's why I think it's responsible of me to do something important with my platform rather than just make money. That's all. And that's my opinion about me and my mantra for life. So I hope that you have a good Sunday. I hope that you're not going to church, because that's a fucking waste of time unless you're going to go get laid or something like that. But then even that's a trap, because that's a dumb broad that believes in God, and she's an idiot. Unless you're a predator, then that's a good place to pick up chicks, because that's where the dummies are. So anyways, I love you guys. Talk to you later. Also, a bar isn't a good place either. That's good for a slut and for a good time. But the rest of it is just finding someone in your, I guess in your work or your colleague or something like that. I don't know. Dating is so weird to me now when I think about it. It's like, I had a dream the other day that I found a nice girl and brought her home to Sherry, and like we were having a good third date or something like that. And then I had to tell her, I said, well, you're going to meet Sherry now. Sherry's technically my wife, and just be nice to her. And, you know, she said you could live with us and all that. And then, of course, I woke up and then I told Sherry about it, and she started laughing. I started laughing. And just so you know, it's like, not every marriage looks the same. Not every marriage is what you think it is or what you assume it is. And if you're a single guy in your 30s that hasn't been married yet, you've got a lot to learn. It's important to commit to something and then get burned so that you learn. Otherwise, you would have never learned that thing. And if you go, oh, I'm not going to let any bitches ruin my life. You don't let a bitch ruin your life. Don't let a bitch run your life. That's the first thing. And if you're trying to find somebody that isn't crazy, is independent, smart, cute, the closest that I can say to somebody that would be an ideal couple or candidate would be Tom and Christina Segura, Christina P. Those two are beautiful, and I would love to see what they are like in real life, but just watch the podcast. Listen to the podcast. It's fucking great the way that they go back and forth, and I want to have that kind of relationship. I don't have that relationship with Sherry right now. I would love to, but she's got a lot of, mental issues and things like that, and I'm not just going to throw her away the way that somebody like Scott Dilbeck would do to a girl. He's like, oh, things aren't going my way. You're going in the dumpster. So, but that's the kind of guy that Scott is, right? He only sees what's in it for him, and if you're not part of that, then you're in the trash. I think there's plenty of room for a lot more people than that. Now, if you are a piece of trash, go put yourself in the dumpster. That's fine. But if like you're like Austin Harmon, you need somebody like me to put you in the dumpster. I love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.